Good evening, everyone. Welcome again to another live streaming of tax training. Our topics for tonight would be tax updates, and we will discuss Revenue Regulation 17-2021, which is the extension of the deadline for state tax amnesty up to June 2023. We will discuss also the RMC 94-2021 about donor's tax for heirs of the estate who renounces part of his inheritance, how to compute. And RMC 97-2021, this is the taxation of income received by social media influencers. You know, ito yung mga YouTubers. And then we will have our question and answer. No? So I would like to say hi to everyone. No? We rested for 1 week. Wala po tayong live streaming ng 2 linggo. Observance po natin sa lockdown. No? Although lockdown pa rin ngayon, but we continue kasi dito lang naman kami sa loob, hindi kami po lumalabas. No? And we maintain also the social distancing considering na ilan lang naman po kami dito. At sa gabi, ang kasama ko dito si Heir lang. So we really maintain social distancing. No? Shout out, Heir.
Shoutout po kay Sir Eugene Cruz.
Okay.
Good evening daw, ma'am.
No, may COVID yung kanyang father. No? So, get well. No? Stay safe. Okay.
Next po, ma'am, shoutout po kay Wak Wak. Magandang
Okay.
gabi daw po, ma'am Eds.
Okay.
Then kay Ma'am Rosalina Tune, maayong gabi
Ang gabi eh.
from Cebu City.
Okay.
Sila pa lang, ma'am.
Okay.
May 10 viewers na po.
Okay, so good evening everyone. Welcome po sa ating live streaming and good evening po sa lahat ng viewers natin. Okay, so let's start with our tax updates on the extension of this tax amnesty. As you can see, this state tax amnesty has been launched matagal na, no? 2019 pa. In-extend lang ito, natapos siya noong June of 2021, at in-extend siya for another 2 years. No? And this is, yung unang amnesty natin under Republic Act 11213, nag-expire na siya noong June 2021. So itong bagong amnesty na to, na state tax amnesty, this is another state tax amnesty, pero ang sabi nila na extension of the state tax amnesty na provided ng Republic Act 11213, and this is under Republic Act 11569, no? That the state tax amnesty is again for another 2 years. At mag-expire siya June 2023, no? Okay, so ano po yung in-amend nitong Revenue Regulation 17-2021? This amended Section 9, 12, and 13 of Revenue Regulation 6-2019. All other provisions of Revenue Regulation 6-2019 are still in force. No? Yung 3 sections lang na yan ang in-amend. Okay, so Section 9, ito na po yung bago. Time and place of filing of the estate tax amnesty return. No? Yung place of filing same lang, yung time, no? Yung nagbago dito. Okay. So for purposes of these regulations, the estate tax amnesty return or BAR for number 2118EA Annex B shall be filed by the executor or administrator. Tingnan mo nga, Heir, ano yung APF? Yung return, nandyan yan sa 17-2021. Di ba yun yung acceptance payment form? Okay.
Acceptance payment form 0621.
Okay. So, ano po yung gagawin natin sa BAR form number 2118EA? It shall be filed by the executor or administrator, legal heirs, transferees, or beneficiaries who wish to avail of the estate tax amnesty. Yun po yung form ng estate tax amnesty. No? Saan po niya ipa-file? Sa RDO having jurisdiction over the residence of the decedent. Kung saan yung residence or address ng decedent nung namatay siya. Not later than June 14 of 2023. At ano po yung mga cases na sakop ng amnesty? Yung mga namatay or decedent died 2017 and prior. No, yung 2018 hindi po kasama. Daming lamukari. In the case of non-resident decedent, no, ito yung may mga executor or administrator in the Philippines, the estate tax amnesty return shall be filed with the RDO where such executor or administrator is registered. No? So, saan ba naka-register yung executor or administrator? Doon po nila ipa-file yung kanilang estate tax amnesty return. Kasi usually, itong mga executor or administrator, sila itong kung halimbawa ang namatay spouse, no? Usually, ang administrator nito is the spouse, no? The surviving spouse. Kung namatay halimbawa yung husband, ang nagiging administrator nila usually is the wife, no? Kung ang wife naman na namatay, nagiging administrator, the husband. Ito namang executor is usually, pag may mga extrajudicial na to, or last will and testament, executor appointed na sila, no? Minsan appointed na ng court. So if not registered at the executor administrator's legal residence, no? Pag non-resident decedent naman, kung meron silang local address dito sa Pilipinas, on the local address. Pero kung wala, it should be filed in the RDO number 39 South Quezon City. Ito po yung BIR natin na nandito sa Quezon Avenue. Okay. The commissioner may exercise his power to allow a different venue or place for the filing of tax returns, no? So, sa discretion ng commissioner. The duly accomplished sworn estate tax amnesty return together with the acceptance payment form or the APF-BIR form 0621EA Annex C and complete documents as enumerated in ER, ETAR. Ito yung mga list of mandatory requirements na attachment sa estate tax return na ito yung mahirap i-gather lahat sa dami, no? Should be presented with the concerned RDO within 5 working days from the receipt of the documents. The RDO shall either endorse the APF for payment of the estate tax amnesty with the authorized agent banks. Ito yung mga tanong po ng karamihan, no? Kasama ng mga lawyers. Namimilit sila na mag-file na sila at magbayad sa banks, no? If we avail of the tax amnesty, useless lang po na magbayad tayo ng voluntary sa banks. Why? Kasi yan dito, napakalinaw po sa revenue regulations. Na anong sabi dito? Yung complete documents mo, i-endorse mo muna yan, pa-receive mo sa district, sa RDO, and then that will be evaluated. Pagka kompleto na siya at saka na-evaluate na, saka yan pipirmahan ng authorized persons in the district, saka ka magbayad sa bangko. Kasi ang ibig sabihin noon, qualified ka na to avail of the estate tax amnesty. Hindi naman po ito sinabi na you can voluntarily file, no? Estate tax amnesty, availment po ito ng amnesty. So, should be evaluated muna kung talagang qualified ka sa amnesty. So, yung iba mga lawyers no, namimilit magbayad sila daw sa bangko without passing through or their documents evaluated muna by the RDOs. Maliwanag po dito. Ha? So, pagka permahan na, approved na, saka ka pa magbayad sa bangko. No? And once na magbayad ka na sa bangko, mabilis na lang wahay. Kasi hindi na masyadong hihigpitan yung review ng estate tax mo since it was already reviewed, no? Bago mo binayaran. Okay. Proof of settlement of the estate, whether judicial or extrajudicial, need not accompany the estate tax amnesty return. Ito yung mga settlement ng estate, no? Kasi if they are not available at the time of filing, wala naman ding clearance that will be issued. So, hindi nyo pa rin matatransfer yung case. Kaya useless lang, no? So, after payment, the duly accomplished and sworn estate tax amnesty return and acceptance payment form with proof of payment together with a complete documentary requirement shall be immediately submitted to the RDO. Mabilis lang po yung RDO, yung experience namin, mga 3 weeks. Kukuha na, tapos na, and then nag-i-issue na po sila. Especially kung isa lang yung properties, nag-i-issue na sila ng CAR or the Certificate Authorizing Registration. Okay. So, halimbawa, nagbayad ka na, then failure to submit yung complete documents mo until June 14, 2021 is tantamount to non-availment of estate tax amnesty. So, what will happen to the payment? Ibawas lang siya sa regular na estate tax liability. So, sayang. Kaya kapag gusto nyo mag-avail ng estate tax amnesty, see to it na you comply with the requirements para qualified kayo. No? Issuance of certificate of availment, yun yung certificate na nag-avail ka ng amnesty and that would be the basis na issuean ka na ngayon ng CAR, no? Yung Certificate Authorizing Registration or itong clearance. Okay. Section 13, issuance of electronic certificate authorizing registration. Until such time that the e-car system is capable of generating one e-car for all properties covered by a single transaction, no? One e-car shall be issued per real property. So, bawat isang real property, kasama na yung improvements, isang car, no? If any covered by original certificate of title, transfer certificate of title, condominium certificate of title, or tax declaration for untitled properties. Okay. For personal properties included in the estate, a separate A-car shall be issued. Ganun din, no? Okay. So it shall be, the E-car shall be issued only upon submission of the proof of estate settlement. For extrajudicial settlement of the estate, copy of the court order. No? In the event that these documents include properties not indicated in the E-tar filed, the particular properties shall likewise be excluded from the E-car. Kasi hindi mo siya sinama no? Hindi mo binayaran. So, hindi siya kasama doon sa clearance. Unless additional estate tax amnesty payment shall be made if the submission is within the amnesty period. Otherwise, the additional estate tax to be paid for the additional properties indicated in the extrajudicial settlement or court order shall be subject to applicable estate tax rate, including interest and penalties. Pag wala ng amnesty, saka mo babayaran yung properties na hindi pa bayad ng estate tax, then mag-i-incur na siya ng penalties at saka iba na yung rate, no? Balik na siya doon sa normal na rate, no? Ano ba yung normal na rate? Graduated po ang rate ng estate tax natin at iba-iba yan. Since 1904 na meron tayo ng, or way back 1920s na meron na tayong estate tax, paiba-iba na yung rates natin sa yung una inheritance tax tapos naging estate tax, no? Okay. So yan po yung Revenue Regulation 17-2021 natin. Official Gazette siya. Ang effectivity niya is 15 days after publication. So, the dated July 27, 2021. Kaya nag-took effect ito noong August. Itong August, no? Okay. So, this is about the extension ng estate tax amnesty. Now, let's go to the Revenue Memorandum Circular Number 4, how to compute the donor's tax. Meron ka dyan, Hari? Makikita nila, no? Because I will explain the computation ng donor's tax, no? In this Revenue Memorandum Circular 94-2021, merong namatay dito, no? Estate tax. At ang sinasabi dito na donor's tax, parang implication lang to o resulta lang to because there are share in the estate nung beneficiary na binigay niya sa ibang beneficiary, no? Kasi naghatian sila tapos yung iba mas malaki ang natanggap as compared sa iba, no? Okay. So, general renunciation of an heir in his share from the inheritance is not subject to donor's tax. Bakit hindi siya subject to donor's tax? Because of the vanishing deduction. Meron po tayong vanishing deduction na yung i-transfer mo yung galing sa descendant na within the year, hindi mo na siya, pero hindi siya applicable doon sa donors. Kasi ito, tinasabi donors. Ito, no? So, there are instances where the settlement of the estate of the descendant, instead of all the heirs receiving their respective shares and all the properties of the descendant in equal shares, no? The heirs will agree among themselves for specific property that each one of them will receive, no? So, definitely, the heir will receive a share lower or higher than the value of what should have been his rightful share in the properties of the descendant. Okay. So, yung partial renunciation of inheritance not to the entire properties of the descendant, no? So, the donor's tax shall be imposed. So, paano po kinukompute? Ito yung mga example natin, no? Sa example natin, si X, Y, and Z are the heirs of the deceased, no? And then they have a property na residential land, commercial land, and agricultural land. And then yung total value ng lahat ng land ng properties nila is 7,500,000. Since ang value is 7,500,000, tatlo sila na heirs, so magkano yung dapat nila na share? Yung 7,500,000 divided by 3, supposed to be 2,500,000 bawat years equal share, no? But what happened is yung na-receive na nung naghati-hati na sila, yung napunta kay X is worth 3 million, no? Yung napunta kay Y is only 2,400,000. Yung napunta kay Z is 2,100,000, no? So, sinong magbabayad dito ng donor's tax? Sinong magbabayad? Yung unang tingin ko, sabi ko dapat si X ang magbabayad kasi 3 million yung sa kanya. But remember that our donor's tax is imposed on the donor. So in this case, si Z, 2,100,000 na lang yung sa kanya. So, anong ibig sabihin? Pinamigay niya yung 400,000. Si Y naman, pinamigay niya yung 100,000. Kasi instead of receiving 2,400,000, ni-receive lang niya 2,000,000. Instead of receiving 2,500,000, ni-receive lang niya 2,400,000. So, kulang ng 100,000. So, ano ibig sabihin noon? Pinamigay niya yung 100,000. So, who will pay for the donor's tax? The donor themselves. So, in this case, since si Z, pinamigay niya yung 400,000, so liable siya ngayon ng donor's tax na 9,000. And how do you compute that? Yung pinamigay niya is 400,000, the exempt portion ng donor's tax, if you try to look at the computation ng donor's tax, the first 250,000 donation during the year is exempt or subject to zero rate. So, tanggalin mo yung 250,000 from 400,000, you have the taxable donation of 150,000, multiply it by 6%, then you have the 9,000 na dapat bayaran ni C. Sabi ko, bakit si C dapat magbayad? Eh, kulang na nga yung kanyang share. Kasi siya yung donor, siya yung namigay. Sabi ko, dapat si X, kasi ang laki ng natanggap ni X. Si X is only a donee, no? Pero in real life, sino magbabayad dito? Siyempre si X, no? Sino yung babayaran niya? Si Y at saka si Z. Kasi yung share ni Z at saka ni Y, napunta sa kanya. Over siya ng 500,000, no? Usually, ganun naman ang nangyayari sa mga years, no? Nag-uusap-usap sila about the division. Kung hindi kaya ng usapan, nag-aaway, no? Kung hindi kaya ng away, go to court, no? Ang dami nagpapatulong sa akin na nag-aaway-away na. Nilalak na ng kapatid, hindi na papasukin doon sa old house, no? So yun ang pinaka-worst na namatayan na tapos nag-aaway-away pa. No, the worst 'yan, no? Yung parang masakit ba sa feeling mo na namatayan na kayo tapos nagkakagulo pa, no? So if you know your rights, it's one of you. Wala nang gulo eh. Bakit nagkakagulo? Kasi yung iba hindi maniniwala na yun lang yung sa kanya. Kasi kung alam mo na yun lang sa iyo, then bakit kailangan mo pa manggulo, no? So in this case, sa totoong buhay na to, gulo ito eh. Kasi bakit? Si 2,100,000 lang sa kanya, tapos magbabayad pa siya ng donor's tax. Si X walang babayaran. But that's the law said. Pero sa actual, dapat magbayaran kayo. Kasi merong nakinabang ng sobra. At meron ding nabawasan yung kanilang pakinabang, no? So they should be remunerated. Fair enough. Also, this is Revenue Memorandum Circular 94-2021. Okay. So, yun yung babayaran ng state na nag-renounce o pinamigay yung share niya doon sa ibang beneficiary or heirs. Okay, may shout out? Okay. Before I discuss yung RMC 97-2021, ito yung pinakahihintay natin, no, ng mga YouTubers. Yeah.
Shoutout po ma'am kay Ma'am Beth Inocilias. Magandang gabi daw po.
Okay.
Good evening din daw po ma'am, sabi ni Sir Ariel San Pedro.
Okay, Sister Ariel.
And Ma'am Julie Alfonso.
Ay,
Shoutout.
okay. Sige, no? Good evening po sa inyo lahat, no? Hindi lang tayo nakapag-live last week, no? Although sa totoo lang, sobrang sama ng pakiramdam ko last week. But rest lang at saka inom lang ng maraming tubig, no? Kasi complete lockdown tayo ngayon. And there are so many news, there are so many mga negative, no? Natin isipin yun. Basta pahinga lang tayo and then drink water, no? Basta stay safe. Wala, ano yan, kung care natin yan, malalagpasan natin lahat yan. Okay. So, we will discuss Revenue Memorandum Circular 97-2021. This is dated August 16, 2021. No? 16, 2021, di kahapon lang to kasi 17 lang ngayon. No? And this is about taxation of any income, received by social media influencers. Na define dito kung sino yung mga social media influencers, no? Okay. Memorandum circular ito, so it gives clarification, no? Okay. The accessibility of internet in almost all parts of the world and the birth of social media platforms have opened a new channel for companies or brands to reach their target market, and that is through a social media influencer marketing. Heavy reliance on social media influencers can be attributed to the belief of such companies that with the authority, knowledge, connection, and reputation the former have established over time, they are able to impact or affect the purchasing decisions and the way of life of their audience or followers. Kaya tingnan nyo, pagka 1,000 na yung subscribers mo, partnership program ka na with the YouTube, no? Kasi may mga audience ka na, may 1,000 audience ka na nakaka-influence ka na sa kanila. Kasi pagka tingnan nila yung mga videos mo, isisingit yung ads, makikita nila yung ads, no? In previous years, companies would hire celebrities to appear in a TV commercial. Mahal yun. No? 12 million yung isang endorsement yan, lalo kung sikat yung artista mo. Or to post on a billboard, lalo na. Yung may mga queen of billboard dyan noon, si Chris Aquino, no? During the time ng President Noynoy Aquino. Pag nakita mo yung billboard sa EDSA, halos Chris Aquino. No? On a billboard just to market their products and to reach a wider audience. Considering the impact that Chris Aquino can make during the presidency of his brother, no? So with social media influencer marketing, a brand or company can now easily promote its products or business through sponsored posts or by partnering with influencers and placing ads on any content of its choice, no? Preferably on the channel of influencers with a significant number of followers. Pero nakita ko ngayon, Hari, yung mga channels natin, at saka may mga channels din, na wala mang 1,000, pero may mga ano din ads. But in that case, hindi paid, no? Hindi tayo babayaran noon kasi ang babayaran lang nila yung 1,000 subscribers but below, hindi, no? Kasi yung smart gardening, may ano na rin may ads. Oh, may ads din no? Kaya, pero yung partnership na, yung babayaran na yung ads mo, pag 1,000, applyan mo pa, no? Hindi siya automatic. Okay. So, sponsored post or by partnering with influencers and placing ads on any content of its choice, no? Preferably on the channel of influencers with a significant number of followers, lalo na yung mga millions na laki ng kita nila. Among others, sino yung number 1 dito sa atin? Si Rafi Tolfo. Kasi yung number 1 ABS-CBN and then yung GMA, third siya, no? Pero sa individual siya talaga yung pinakamataas. Influencer marketing has thus become a vital part of the marketing strategies of these companies and the new norm for digital marketing, being one of the most effective ways nowadays to communicate with a brand's target audience or improve brand awareness. Kaya tingnan mo yung mga Lazada, lahat na lang, nandyan sa YouTube channel, makikita mo yung ads, no? Objective. So, since, siyempre, ang BIR, kung saan yung kumikita, doon siya, no? Kasi digital world na tayo ngayon. Pag hindi mo i-tax itong mga media influencers na digital, sino pang itatax mo? So, the Bureau of Internal Revenue has been receiving reports that certain social media influencers have not been paying their income taxes despite earning huge income from the different social media platforms. Malalaman mo naman, makikita mo naman kung sino-sino itong mga to no? Kasi since sila nga yung mga sikat, of course makikita mo sila sa YouTube, sa mga iba pang social media, sa Facebook, no? Sa Twitters. So there are also reports that they are not registered with the BIR. Yan ang worst para sa akin. Do not wait, no? Na pati yung registration, hindi kayo nagpaparegister, ma-penalty kayo. Or are registered under different tax types or line of business, but are also not declaring their earnings from social media platforms for tax purposes. No? So whatever may be the reasons, it is now the most opportune time to discuss tax obligations of the social media influencers. Actually, gumawa na ako dyan for tax training purposes. Kumuha na kami ni Hari ng top 10, no? Top 10 na social media influencers or YouTubers. And then kinuha namin sa Social Blade yung kanilang income na lowest and highest. Anong month yun, Hari? Ginawa mo?
July.
For the month of July, hindi din katapusan ng July yun, kaya hindi ko siya, ginawan ko na siya ng computation. No? Yung estimated tax liability, lowest, and estimated tax liabilities, highest. No? Kaso lang, hindi ko pa siya nilabas nga dahil nag-lockdown at saka sabi ko parang untimely. So, with this, pwede ko na ilabas yun, no? So that may idea tayo. And, The circular is therefore issued to clarify the tax obligations. So, bibigay ko lang yun ng sample. Estimated lang naman yun, no? Para maklarify yung tax obligations. May ideas din yung mga taxpayers natin. Of all social media influencers, individual or corporation, with the end goal of raising revenues from their undeclared income. No? And at the same time, reminding them of their obligations under the law and possible consequences of the failure to pay taxes. Kasi, ano yan eh, media, no? Social media. So, nandyan talaga kayo. So, you cannot do away with it. Lalo na yung mga bata, ang lalakas din kumita, no? So, sinong liable dun sa income ng mga bata na nasa social media? The parents, no? Saka kung sino yung guardian nila na registered sa Google, sila dapat yung magbabayad ng tax. Okay, so, definition of social media influencers. Social media influencers referred to in this circular includes all taxpayers, individuals, or corporations receiving income in cash or in kind from any social media sites and platforms. So, ano yung mga platforms na to? YouTube, Facebook. Sa Facebook, ang dami, no? Pero, pwede rin kaya tayo mag-Facebook, Hari, yung tax training natin. I-simultaneous natin at saka yung Instagram and Twitter. Ha? Kaya nga, sayang naman. Pero dito sa TikTok, hindi tayo pwede dyan. Unless na mag-TikTok tayo habang yung nag-i-explain, no?
Pwede dyan mga pa 2 minutes na explanation lang. May mga nakikita rin ng ganyan.
Sa TikTok? Tapos sumasayaw ka, mag-explain ka ng tax? Siguro sa ano na lang, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Ano tong Reddit?
Parang Twitter lang din.
Then Snapchat. Ay, itong Snapchat, mga maiksi lang to. Parang
parang TikTok din.
Okay. So, in exchange for services performed as bloggers, video bloggers, or vloggers, or as an influencer in general, and from any other activities performed on such social media sites and platforms. Alam mo, natutuwa ako dun sa mga nagpe-Facebook na yung gagawa sila ng grupo, lalo na yung mga teenagers, no? Gagawa sila ng grupo, tapos kung baga sa ano, puproduce din sila, gumagawa-gawa din sila ng kwento, nagdadrama-drama. Alam mo, hindi ako natutuwa sa drama. Hindi ako natutuwa dun sa mga kwento nila. Sa kanila ako natutuwa, no? Natutuwa ako, masaya ako kasi nagtatry, no? And then natutuwa din ako because there is a platform na na-accommodate sila. Kasi tingnan mo, yung mga ideas nila, kunwari, may nagbibigay ng opportunities na makita ng iba, no? Okay. So, liability for income tax and percentage or value-added tax, Section 4. Yan ang sinasabi ko. That income from YouTube, from the social media, are subject not only to income tax, no? Pag more than 3 million na yan, vatable na yan. Why? Kasi consider din yan as services. Although sabi dito sa regulations na to, the income from social media sa US is considered as royalty, no? Royalty payment. Pero pag sabi mo kasi royalty payment, subject sa value-added tax din, no? So, also, percentage tax kung hindi siya abot ng 3 million, no? Or 3 million and below. Okay. Unless exempted pursuant to the provisions of the National Internal Revenue Code as amended and other existing laws, social media influencers shall be liable to income tax and percentage or value-added tax as shown below. Actually, yung income namin dito sa YouTube channel na to, 5,000 a month. No? So, kaya nagpagawa ng withholding tax ang Google. So, nagsubmit ako. Exempted. Why? Kasi yung withholding tax ng US sa US viewers lang yun, hindi niya pakikialaman yung mga viewers dito sa Pilipinas. Yung income from the US viewers, hindi siya abot ng $10,000 in a year. Kaya exempt, no? Okay. Actually yung hinahabol talaga dito sa social media influencers na to, yung mga malalakas talaga kumita na mga milyon-milyon, no? And usually, sino to? Ito mga, ano na rin, mga artista, no? Nakilalang-kilala na sila. Okay. So, they are liable to income tax, percentage tax, or value-added tax. No? Okay. So, sino po yung liable sa percentage tax? If your income is 3 million and below during the taxable year. And when we say taxable year, we mean 12-month period. January to December. Kasi kung individual ka, your taxable year is calendar year lang, January to December. Kung corporation ka, you can opt to have fiscal year, no? Na ang one taxable period mo, yung 12-month period mo is beginning February and other months except January. No? So income tax under Section 23 provides that the citizen of the Philippines residing therein and domestic corporation shall be taxable on all income derived from sources within and without the Philippines. So, di ba dito yung video natin on Senator Manny Pacquiao na yung income niyang iba sa US, hindi niya dinideclare dito sa Pilipinas. So, anong ginawa ng BIR sa kanya? Inassess siya. No? Why? Because you are a Filipino citizen and your income within the Philippines and also those income coming outside the Philippines are still should be included when you file your income tax return. Sa case ni Senator Manny Pacquiao, hindi niya sinama yung ibang income niya na galing sa US. No? And ilang years yun. That's why nagkaroon ng assessment sa kanyang BIR. As amended and other existing laws, social media influencers shall be liable to income tax, percentage tax, or value-added tax. Okay. So sa income tax, social media influencers other than corporations and partnerships are classified for tax purposes as self-employed individuals or persons engaged in trade or business as sole proprietors and therefore their income is generally considered business income. Bakit sila considered self-employed? Kasi services yun eh. No? Services yan. Kaya nitong ginagawa namin ito na ngayon na nagla-live streaming kami, these are services. No? And social media influencers derive their income from the following sources. YouTube Partners Program. No, may requirement din ang YouTube at saka bago ka nila din i-accept, ang dami mong babasahin na mga rules din nila, no? Agreement. And kailangan you have to abide. This allows an influencer to make money from advertising revenue. No? So the influencer gets ad revenue from display, overlay, and video ads. Channel membership. The influencer make recurring monthly payments in exchange for special perks that he or she offers. No? Merch shelf. Followers can browse and buy official branded merchandise from the influencers' watch pages. No? Super chat and super stickers. Followers pay to get their messages highlighted in chat streams. No? So, yun pala yung mga nagbabayad dyan. YouTube Premium Revenue. The influencer gets a part of the YouTube Premium subscriber subscription fee when followers watch his or her or its contents. No? Okay. Ano yung reference laws dito? Republic Act number 10963 or the Train Law. The Republic Act number 9178 or the Barangay Micro Business Enterprises, and VAT, no, from the tax code. Okay. Ano pa yung mga sources ng income? Sponsored social and blog post, no? Influencers features a product or concept he or she is paid to promote, no? Display advertising. Influencers also have the ability to earn money passively through display advertising. So, pwede rin pala tayong ganyan, Hari. Here, the ad is similar to radio commercials because it interrupts the program. Another is becoming a brand representative or ambassador. The influencer would promote the products of his or her its social media accounts in exchange for free products from the brand. Okay. Yun yung nakikita ko kay Andy Eigenman doon sa kanyang Happy Islanders. No? May mga pinumpromote siya na product doon. Some brands may pay an additional fee for every piece of content or conversion the influencer creates or drives. Affiliate marketing. In this type of arrangement or affiliate marketer for the brand or influencer would be provided with a unique link or code that will be used for tracking his or her conversions. For every conversion resulting from the said link or code, the influencer will earn a commission. So, iba't ibang klase na, no? Sa digital world natin. Co-creating product lines. A brand would partner with an influencer to co-create products for their brand, and the latter, in turn, gets paid based on a certain percentage of the profits. No? Another is promoting own products. The influencer may come up with his or her own line of products. Ito yung nakita ko kay Laichiki, yung 13 million subscribers na ang gaganda ng mga videos niya, no? Nagpo-promote na siya ng sarili niyang product. Meron na siyang mga product na binibenta online, no? Ipinopromote niya sa kanyang YouTube channel. Okay. Photo and video sales. Influencers may create and sell frame, worthy pictures, high-quality videos, or the rights over them as well. Yung iba may mga copyrights, no? So, pagka nag-download ka ng mga pictures nila, magbabayad ka. Digital courses, subscriptions, e-books. Siguro, itong e-books, Hari, papasok tayo dito, no? Kasi bumili na kami ng mga softwares for this. Influencers sell digital products. Okay, pwede tayo dyan. Yung ating mga presentation, no? Podcast and webinars. This may include sponsored ads that generate money or the influencer may charge a small fee to access the content. Yan. Okay. So to constitute gains or profits for the conduct of trade or business, the payment must be received by a social media influencer in consideration for services rendered or to be rendered irrespective of the manner or form of payment. No? So, if a social media influencer receives free products in exchange for the promotion thereof or his or her YouTube channel or other social media accounts, he or she must declare the fair market value of such products as income. Ito, you are paid in kind. No? So, how do you determine your income if you are paid in kind? Based on the value of the product that you receive. No? So, ano talaga yan? Taxable pa din yan as an income. Naka-receive ka ng mga damit. Tapos yung mga damit, okay-okay. Second hand, no? The value of that okay-okay. Kasi hindi naman yan na ibigay sa iyo na wala ng value. No? So, lesser lang yung value niya. But, you have to value it and declare it as an income. Okay. Except for certain passive income derived from sources within the Philippines, capital gains from the sale of shares not traded in the stock exchange and from the sale of real property classified as capital assets, the income tax shall be imposed on the taxable income of resident citizens, aliens, partnerships, domestic and resident foreign corporations doing business as a social media influencers, and shall be based on the schedular tax rates under Section 24A, 2A of the NIRC or on the corporate income tax rate under Section 27 and 28 thereof, depending on the type of taxpayer. So, graduated or schedular rates, ito yung sa train law, nagbago na, no? Na yung first 250,000 is exempt. And magbabago na naman siya comes January 2023. Income treated as royalties in another country, including payments under the YouTube Partner Program, treated as royalty in the United States, no? Shall likewise be included in the computation of the gross income of the social media influencer and shall be subjected to the schedular or corporate tax rates. No? So for resident aliens, any income derived from Philippine-based contents, kasi halimbawa YouTuber ka, may manonood sa inyo na US. So, yung US viewers mo, yun yung income na babayaran or i-withhold sa iyo ng Google, no? Kung halimbawa naman yung ibang YouTubers, based naman sila doon sa ibang bansa, pagkatapos pagdating dito sa Pilipinas, dito naman sila may mga viewers. Same thing na yung viewers in the Philippines has the taxing right also to tax those income coming from the Philippine viewers, no? Kasi ang itatax lang naman ng US, yung US viewers lang, yung mga viewers na dito sa Pilipinas hindi niya po itatax. Wala siyang taxing right doon. So based content shall generally be taxable. The burden of proof that the income was derived from sources and without the Philippines lies upon the resident alien. Pero kung YouTubers ka, naka-record yan doon sa Google, no? Mariretrieve mo. Kaya nga yun ang ginagawa ng Social Blade, no? Nare-retrieve yung information about income. Absent such proof, the income will be assumed to have been derived from sources within the Philippines. Kung halimbawa, yung total income mo during the month is 3 million, tapos hindi mo siya break down as to sources. So, anong sabi dito? The assumption is, lahat ng income na yan is coming from the Philippines. Business tax, when we say business tax, we mean the percentage tax or the value-added tax. No? So, besides income tax, social media influencers are also liable for business tax, which may either be percentage or VAT. No? Pag 3 million below, percentage tax, above 3 million, value-added tax. And how much is the rate? For percentage tax, 2020 to 2022, 2023 July, ba? June is 1%, no? After that, magiging 3% siya. So, right now, percentage tax is 1%. Value-added tax is 12%. But, of course, in value-added tax, you have the benefit of deducting the input tax from the purchases that you have coming from VAT-registered taxpayers. Kasi ang VAT, may input-output mechanism yan. That's why if you have input tax coming from your purchases, you can deduct it from the 12% value-added tax so that you will not be paying now the 12%. May bawas na. Self-employed individuals whose gross sales or gross receipts and other non-operating income do not exceed the VAT threshold of 3 million shall have the option to avail of the 8%. Ito ang daming nagtatanong sa ano natin, dito sa ating channel, no? Na ma'am, bakit hindi ako maka-avail ng 8%, no? VAT registered ako. Ang 8% option rate is available only to non-VAT. Kaya hindi ka tinanggap ng system na magiging ang option mo is 8% kasi VAT registered ka. Ano ang sabi natin? Those who are available to select the option rate of 8% are those whose income does not exceed 3 million. So 3 million and below that is non-VAT, no? So pag VAT ka, definitely hindi ka pwede sa 8%. No? So, you have the option to avail the 8% kung yung gross sales mo or gross receipts and other non-operating income in excess of 250,000 in lieu of the graduated income tax rates. Ito yung sa rate na, no? Mixed income earners or those who are earning both compensation income and income from business and or profession shall be taxable under Section 24A, yung mixed income. For all income earned from compensation and income earned from business or practice of profession may be taxed at the same graduated rate or 8%, provided na yung total income mo hindi siya lumagpas ng 3 million. No? On gross sales or gross receipts provided the threshold as discussed in the preceding paragraph, hindi siya nag-exceed. If the total gross sales and or gross receipt and other non-operating income exceed the VAT threshold, how much is the VAT threshold? 3 million. The graduated rates under Section 24A, 2A shall apply and they shall likewise be liable to VAT. Ano yung graduated rates? Yun yung itemized deductions, no? And then optional standard deductions, itemized deductions, and then yung gagamitin mong rates, yung graduated. Yung first 250,000 is zero, no? So, allowable deductions. Since meron kang income, you are entitled to allowable deductions. And what are the necessary and ordinary expenses that can be allowed as deductions dito sa social media influencers? These are the example, ha? Number 1, filming expenses, no? Ito yung mga expenses mo sa camera, smartphones, microphones, filming equipment. Number 2, computer equipment, no? Subscription and software licensing fees. Internet and communication expenses. Home office expenses, no? Proportionate rent and utilities expenses, dapat konti lang. Office supplies. Business expenses, travel, transportation related to YouTube business. Payment to independent contractor or company for video editing. Costume designer. Advertising, marketing cost. Di ba may client tayo na ganito, Hari? Hari, natutulog ka na. May client tayo na ganito, di ba? Ito yung mga business expenses niya kasi nagta-travel siya. Depreciation expense, no? Bank charges, shipping fees. Okay. So, in lieu of the itemized deduction, the taxpayer may elect optional standard deduction. So, pwedeng-pwede. Kaya nga, magkakaroon ako ng video on the estimated tax liability of the influencers. Gagawin ko dalawa, no? The estimated, the lowest estimated tax liability niya and the highest. And then dalawa din yung gagawin ko. Isa yung 40% na optional standard deduction and yung isa naman kung gagamit siya ng itemized deductions, no? Para madali siya maintindihan. Okay, tax compliance, kailangan registration update. So, we have to register in the RDO where you are registered. And then magkaroon ka ng certificate of registration. And you have to keep books of accounts, no? Para sa akin, yung keeping ng books of accounts, especially if online ka, dapat computerized accounting system ka rin, no? And then filing of tax returns and payment of taxes, no? Monthly. Ang frequency of filing natin ng VAT is monthly. Frequency of filing ng percentage tax is quarterly. Frequency of filing ng income tax natin is also quarterly, no? Kagaya sila ng percentage tax. Okay. Obligations to withhold, if applicable. Pag meron kang mga expenses, no, halimbawa, rental, payment to professional, to contractors, then mandatory na mag-withhold ka because you are already constituted as withholding agent, especially on your operating expenses. And then, liabilities for failure to file return and pay taxes. Pagka-registered ka na sa BIR, and then you fail to file your return and pay taxes, magkakaroon ka ng open cases, magkakaroon ka ng penalties, no? And then, ito yung mga sources ng violations natin. Attempt to evade or defeat taxes. This is under Section 254. And also Section 255 on failure to file return, supply correct and accurate information. Actually, ito yung mga provisions na dinadala sa korte. No? Yung mga pinafile ng cases sa DOJ or sa Department of Justice, ito yung provisions na ginagamit ng BIR. No? Okay. Question, Hari? Oh, sige. Question muna tayo. Mahaba ito eh. Okay.
Shoutout po muna, Ma'am Faye.
Sige.
Sir Senyorito Roy.
Okay.
Salamat daw po, Ma'am, sa pag-discuss. May property pa kami Hindi pa kami nakafile ng tax amnesty. Kulang kasi ibang documents namin.
Sa state tax amnesty natin, ang pinaka-crucial talaga dyan, para sa akin the most difficult tax na aside from income tax, estate tax, no? Yung value-added tax, ano din yan, mahirap din yan. Pero ang estate tax, bakit? Kasi even the documents are regulated. Ano yung mga documents na regulated? The title itself. Pero hindi ka pwedeng magkaroon lang ng title na gawa-gawa mo lang. The title are regulated by the LRA or the Land Registration Authority. And even yung pagkuha mo ng kopya, regulated yan. Also the tax declaration. So, binabayaran din yan, yung mga documentations yan. And those are registrable property. Kaya may batas yan. Hindi ka basta-basta. That's why yung documentation for estate tax purposes, yun ang pinakamatagal talaga in that, lalo-lalo na kung may mga properties pa in court, napakatagal. No? Or may isa naman na 8 silang magkakapatid, 3 yung hindi pumirma, ayaw pumirma. Walang mangyayari sa extrajudicial mo. Why? Kasi hindi mo pwedeng i-proceed yan na dadalhin mo sa BR na yung 3 hindi nakapirma, hindi tatanggapin. So, kaya para sa akin, sa pinakamahirap na tax talaga is the estate tax. No? Kasi value-added tax, hindi ka mahirapan magpapirma niyan. Talagang pipirmahan niya ng may-ari or the authorized person. Ganon din yung income tax. Pero yung estate tax, lalo na yung extrajudicial pa lang, hindi na pipirma yung mga heirs. Wala, hindi na uusad yung processing mo ng estate tax. Okay? Next.
Next po, ma'am. Shoutout po kay Ma'am Lilian Yao. Good evening.
Si Ma'am Lilian. Thank you for watching, Ma'am Lilian. Okay.
And then kay Miss Cupcake Confection.
Nandyan pa rin si Miss Cupcake. No? Long time no see kasi wala tayo during the 1 week na lockdown, no?
Pati po kay Ma'am Fe Herrera. Good evening.
Si Ma'am Fe. No? Congrats kay Ma'am Fe. Napakasipag. Okay.
Tapos ito, ma'am, yung question po galing kay Ma'am Nida Magallanes.
Okay.
Ma'am, ask ko po, magkano po kaya babayaran ng lupa ng matagal na po nabili, 2,000 pa? Di pa po na-transfer sa nakabili at di rin po nakabayad ng buwis at tax.
Depende po yan. Yung tinatanong mo na magkano babayaran, capital gains po yan. Di yan sakop ng amnesty natin. But, depende yan sa value ng property, no? At the time na nagbentahan kayo. Pero kung wala pa kayong dokumento nung nagbentahan kayo, no? Lalong mahirap. Kung may dokumento naman kayo at nagawa na yung deed of sale no 2000, so that was 21 years ago, pupunta ka ngayon sa National Archive, manghingi ka doon ng certification na yung nagnotaryo ng deed of sale mo, naka-file doon yung deed of sale. Kasi pag wala, magbibigay din sila ng certification na walang na-file doon. No? So, anong ibig sabihin nun? Bogus yung sa'yo, ng notaryo. So, as if walang deed of sale na nangyari. No? May mga, yun lang yung sinasabi ko na since registrable properties yan, napakahirap. May mga consequences yan. No? So, depende po yan sa value ng properties na binili mo. Kung malaki yan, din malaki din yung tax na babayaran mo. Kasi yung capital gains, kung 2,000 yan, depende yan sa rate noon, no? Pero kung 2,000 yan, parang mga 6% na rin yan. No? Based on the zonal value. Kung may zonal value dyan sa lugar nyo. No? And then you have to multiply now the tax due by 6% and then multiply it by 25% na surcharge, 20% interest per annum up to the train loan ng 2018, and then 12% interest per annum pagmula 2018. No? So, ang laki. Siguro, ang aabot yan, mga times 5, times 6, 7, 8 ng basic tax mo. No? Kung pagdating na sa penalty, since 21 years yan, malaki na talaga. Okay. But, isipin mo lang din naman na lumaki na rin yung value ng property mo. No? So, yun lang yung advantage on the other hand, kasi yung property mo, kahit na wala kang ginawa doon sa property mo, tumataas talaga yung value niya. Okay, next. Okay. Marami pa tayong viewers.
15.
Okay. So, tapusin natin to ha. Itong, kasi we still have time pa naman. Tapusin natin itong discussion natin on the social media influencers, no? Kasi, ang dami ngayon. At saka, yun ang ang daming kagaya ko na trying hard pa rin na hindi nag-give up sa YouTube, no? Okay. So, ito yung mga tax liabilities, ha? And then yung penalties pag hindi ka nag-file, no? So, under Section 248B, substantial under-declaration of taxable sales, hindi mo ni-report yung total sales mo or yung total income mo. Substantial overstatement of deductions, pati yung deductions naman, nilakihan mo, niliitan mo yung income. Constitute prima facie evidence of a false or fraudulent return and failure to report sales receipt or income in an amount exceeding 30% of that declared per return and a claim of deduction in an amount exceeding 30% of actual deductions shall render the taxpayer liable for substantial under-declaration of sales, receipts, or income, or for overstatement of deductions, no? So, fraudulent na yung returns mo. It must be emphasized that Heir also has the power to obtain information from foreign tax authorities. Pwede siyang mag-request sa Google ng total income ng mga media influencers natin, no? Pursuant to the exchange of information, EOI provision of the relevant tax treaties. Nasa provision yan ng tax treaties natin na may exchange of information between countries, no? So the Heir has the means to verify their income as it is clothed with a special power to obtain information from its treaty partners. Halimbawa, US, talagang manghihingi ang Heir doon ng information, magbibigay ang US. No? The Heir may safely rely on the data provided by its treaty partners to establish the influencer's tax liability. Social media influencers are therefore advised, ito na, nakikiusap ang Heir, to voluntary and truthfully declare the income and pay their corresponding taxes without waiting for a formal investigation. Wag na daw maghintay ng formal investigation, mag-voluntary na. To be conducted by the Heir to avoid being liable for tax evasion and for the civil penalty of 50% of the tax, of the deficiency tax. Pagka willful kasi yung sinadya mo talaga na hindi mag-file ng income tax return, ang surcharge na 25% nagiging 50%. No? So, mas mataas. Avoidance of double taxation. Kasi sa social media influencers natin, iba-ibang bansa nanggagaling yung ating income, no? Kasi iba-iba yung viewers natin. So, to avoid double taxation, because you will be taxed kung nasaan galing yan, anong bansa ang pinanggalingan ng income mo, nag-i-impose na rin sila ng tax doon, no? So, to avoid the risk of double taxation, social media influencer receiving income from non-resident person residing in a country with which the Philippines has a tax treaty must inform the latter that he or she is a resident of the Philippines and is therefore entitled to claim treaty benefits. Alam nyo, na may ano lang ako yung advanced program in certificate in international taxation at may exam lang ako hanggang September. Pero balak ko talaga, ang dami ko na dyan, naumpisan ko na ng mga PowerPoint. Ang dami ko talagang i-record na for the benefits of our taxpayers, especially itong social media influencers. Itong how to avail of the tax treaty benefits, no? How to avail of the tax treaty benefits ng US. Isa-isahin natin yan. And bibigyan ko kayo ng mga rates na nandoon sa tax treaties, no? But, ano lang, hindi kaya ng sabay-sabayin, no? Okay. And then, meron na rin tayo yung mga tax trivia, naumpisan ko na rin, kasi may tax trivia tayo na ilagay dyan sa ating YouTube channel. Meron din tayong mga general information, no? Tax na general information. And then, may iba mga topics ang ilalagay na natin. And even tax crimes, no? Para aware tayo na ito palang ginagawa natin are already considered tax crimes, no? Okay, so ang dami nating plano sa ating YouTube channels na hindi lang natin kakayanin right now, but next time, unti-unti, madadala na po namin sa inyo. At saka mas maganda na yung ating arrangement, no? Kasi ngayon, parang hirap na tayo per topic pag naghanap sila, Hari. Nahihirapan sila, no? So, upuan talaga namin yan at ayusin. And then we have the income from YouTube, no? Kasi itong avoidance of double taxation, mag-a-avail tayo dito ng tax treaties. So, marami yung proseso. Tuturuan namin kayo how to apply for tax. Pero meron tayo dyan na tax treaty benefits, no? How to apply. Meron tayong video dyan. Although, meron ng bago dyan na regulations ng BIR. Ito yung RMO 43-2020, no? And then, how to apply for mutual agreement procedure. No, ito yung map sa ITAD, International Tax Affairs Division. So, income from YouTube. No? Okay. Ito, nag-submit na si Google na nanghingi na siya nung W8, no? BAN. Lahat ng mga YouTubers ni-require na doon. Otherwise, hindi makakatanggap ng sahod, no? And then, nag-fix na siya ng withholding tax rate. Ako kasi, since ang income hindi naman abot ng $10,000 exempt, no? Nag-avail ako ng exemption dito, doon sa withholding tax certificate na sinabit sa Google, no? Na yun din sana yung gusto ko na i-video din natin, how to avail of the exemption. Kasi lalo na sa maliliit lang ng mga YouTubers, exempted ka talaga, no? And remember na itong US, ang i-withhold lang niya doon sa income ng YouTubers are only income coming from the US viewers. No, yung ibang mga viewers in Japan, in Asia, Australia, Brazil, halimbawa, hindi niya itatax yun. Only viewers in the US. Kaya kung mataas yung viewers mo sa US, mataas yung income mo dun, saka ka lang magbabay ng withholding. Pero kung wala, zero yung withholding mo. No? Okay. So, eligible tayo ng tax treaty benefits. Yung Philippine US tax treaty, no, sa Google, avail natin yan. No? For those naman na marami talagang income, something like millions in a month, no? So you avail of the tax treaty benefits. Na special rate, 15%. Kasi daw, itong income from YouTube is considered royalties. Kaya subject po siya sa withholding tax na 24%. No? Sa US yan, ha. Pero kung hindi naman yung US ang viewers mo, of course, hindi rin sila mag-withhold. No? Ito naman, if you have a tax residency certificate, no? Kasi ang tax residency certificate mo is needed pag nag-avail ka ng tax treaty benefits, no? Halimbawa, 24% yung rate ng withholding, nagiging 50% na lang. So, ang laki, no? 9% ang nabawas. Okay. So, saan ito kinukuha ang TRC or Tax Residency Certificate? Sa ITAD or International Tax Affairs Division. The Philippines has 43 tax treaties with other countries. No, kasama na dyan yung US, Japan, Australia, no? So 43 countries na yan. Effect of taxes withheld in foreign countries. Ano yung mangyayari pagka ang income mo, halimbawa sa US, tinax ng US, no? Nag-withhold siya. So yun yung form of taxation niya. Section 34C of the NIRC provides that income taxes paid or incurred to a foreign country may either be claimed as an item of deduction or as a tax credit, but subject to the following limitations. Letter A, the amount of credit in respect to the tax paid or incurred to any country shall not exceed the same proportion of the tax against which such credit is taken, which the taxpayer taxable income from sources within such country. Ito yung ibig sabihin dito sa letter A. Halimbawa, may income ka sa US na $100,000, no? At halimbawa, ang kinuha ng US doon is 20%. So, 200,000 ang kinuha niya. No? Kasi, 100,000. 20,000 yung kinuha niya, no? 20%. Kasi sabi natin, royalty, halimbawa, 20%. So, kumuha na siya doon ng 20%. Sa 100,000 mo, less 20,000. So, 80,000 na lang. No? So, pagdating dito sa Pilipinas, how much yung income na i-report mo? Yun pa rin yung 100,000. No? I-report mo yung 100,000. Hindi pwede na i-report mo na lang siya na 80,000 kasi tinanggal na yung tax na withholding na 20,000. No? So, i-report mo pa rin 100,000. So, ano mangyayari doon sa binawas sa'yo? Yung binawas sa'yo, once nakapag-compute ka na ng tax mo dito sa Pilipinas, ibawas mo na ngayon doon sa tax due mo yung 20,000. Halimbawa, dito sa Pilipinas, yung income mo from royalty, halimbawa na lang pagdating dito sa Pilipinas is taxable only at 10%. Ang withholding niya is 10% kasi halimbawa, copyrights yun. No? So, royalty earnings from copyrights is subject to 10% withholding tax. I-withhold ka ng US ng 20%, 20,000. Ang dapat mong bayaran dito sa Pilipinas, doon sa income na yan, na 100,000, is only 10,000. So, anong sabi dito sa letter A? Ang pwede mo lang i-claim as tax credit, hindi yung 20,000 na binayad mo sa US, but only up to the extent of 10,000 na yun ang tax due na dapat bayaran mo dito sa Pilipinas on that income that you receive from the US. No? So, yun po yung ibig sabihin. Hindi ibig sabihin na yung tax due mo dito sa Pilipinas for that income na 100,000 is 20,000 sa US, 10,000 na yung babayaran mo dito sa Pilipinas. Nag-refund ka pa ngayon ng 10,000, may overpayment ka pa. Samantalang hindi mo naman binayad dyan dito sa Pilipinas, nandoon yan sa US. Kaya ang tatanggapin lang ng Pilipinas, yung up to the extent lang of your tax liability for the income that you earn in other country. So 10,000 na yung tax due niya, 10,000 lang din yung pwede mong i-deduct na tax credit. Letter B. Total amount of the credit shall not exceed the same proportion of the tax against which such credit is taken, which the taxpayer's taxable income from sources without the Philippines taxable under this title bears to his entire taxable income for the same taxable year. So, yung tax credit mo, proportion lang din ng tax na kung saan yung credit is taken. No? Well, hindi siya susobra. Okay, so alien individual and foreign corporation shall not be allowed credits against the tax for the taxes of foreign countries. So, hindi sila entitled for the taxes of foreign countries. Why? Because their income coming from the foreign countries are not taxed in the Philippines. Only the income earned in the Philippines is taxable. Kaya hindi mo pwedeng i-deduct yung taxes na binayad mo sa ibang bansa. Kasi para doon yun sa income sa ibang bansa. Hindi kasama yung income mo coming from the Philippines. Okay. Tax credit. If the taxpayer established the following, no? Total amount of income derived from sources without the Philippines. Yun. Amount of income derived from each country, you have to establish. The tax paid or incurred to which uh, is claimed as a credit, and all other information necessary for the verification and computation. Kaya nga yung lecture natin kanina sa Ping Pa on the essentials of transfer pricing about documentation, very, very important po talaga yung documentation. Ha? Basta taxation po yung pinag-uusapan, documentation is mandatory. And pagka maganda yung documentation mo, malaking tulong yan sa payment mo ng taxes. In the case of taxpayer who deliberately fails to claim treaty benefits, kasi sa tax treaty, regularly magbabayad ka 24%. Pag may tax treaty, 15% na lang. So, 9% yung benefits mo. Eh, hindi ka nag-avail. The amount paid for the purpose of applying this section shall be deemed the amount of tax that should have been paid had the influencer invoked the provision of the relevant tax treaty. No? So, illustration. In 2020, GBG, a Filipino social media influencer residing in the Philippines, received $200,000 or 10 million. No? Sikat na to na YouTuber. From Google LLC, an enterprise resident of the U.S., as her share from advertising revenues. Unless the U.S. tax law payment from YouTube through the YouTube Partner Program are considered royalties, which are generally subject to tax at 24%, GBG did not receive any other income during the year. When she filed her tax return, she claimed 1 million deduction and opted to avail of the tax credit for taxes paid in the U.S. Nagbayad siya ng tax sa U.S. No? So what is the tax implication of GBG if GBG does not inform the income payer that she is a resident of the Philippines? No? Niya sinabi na resident of the Philippines niya. Pero alam nyo ngayon, kahit di mo sabihin, kusang maghahanap ng information sa iyo yung withholding agent, no? GBG's earnings from YouTube will be subjected to tax at the maximum rate of 24% kasi di ka nag-avail ng tax treaty. If she doesn't claim treaty benefits, no? So Google LLC should therefore withhold $48% or 2.4 million before remitting the royalties to GBG. Imagine yung 2.4 million, ibawas na yun sa earnings mo na 10 million. Kaya all the while, ang sabi ko, kahit sa mga networkers, na pagkalaki-laki ng income, hindi nagbabayad ng tax. No? Sabi ko sa kanila, do not think na once nalulula kayo sa income nyo na million-million, do not think na sa inyo lahat yun. Why? Because the government has a tax lien on your income. May share dyan ang gobyerno. And how much is that? Palagay mo na doon na sa maximum na rate kasi wala kang documentation. So, if you have an earning of 1,000, sa maximum rate natin na 32%, halimbawa 35 na ngayon, magkano na yung tax mo doon? 35% na. So, magkano ngayon ang matira sa iyo? Sa 1,000 ang matira sa iyo, 650,000. Yun lang yung isipin mo na income mo. Huwag mong isipin na 1,000 yung kita mo. Isipin mo 6,500 lang or 65,000 lang. Hindi buong 100,000. No? Isipin mo na ibawas mo na ngayon yung para sa gobyerno. Kasi pag inako mo pa, kinuha mo pa yung para sa gobyerno, then one day sisingilin ka. No? Okay. So, si GBG, kung hindi niya sinabi na resident siya ng Philippines, hindi siya nag-avail ng tax treaty, then ang tax na babayaran niya is 2.4 million of the 10 million na income. What is the tax implication of GBG if GBG submit her tax information? Okay, nag-submit siya ng tax information niya, yung TRC, Tax Residency Certificate, nag-apply siya ng tax treaty, no? Under Article 13(2)(a) of the Philippine U.S. Tax Treaty, royalties derived by resident of the Philippines may be taxable in the U.S., but tax shall not exceed 15%. So instead of paying 24%, may tax treaty, 15% na lang of the gross amount of royalties. If GBG invokes the provision of the treaty and claims treaty benefits, no, Google LLC will only impose 15% tax, no? So US dollar 30,000 or 1.5 million on her royalty payments from viewers in the US. So nakatipid siya ng 900,000 instead of 2.4, 1.5 million na lang. How much should be allowed as credit for taxes paid in the US? No? So generally, credit for taxes paid in foreign countries shall be limited to that paid or accrued in the said foreign country. No? So if treaty exists between the source state and the Philippines, but the taxpayer fails to invoke the provision thereof, the tax credit that may be claimed by the taxpayer shall be limited to the tax that should have been paid if the taxpayer had he or she it claimed the benefits under the said treaty. So in this case, shall only be allowed to claim a credit in the amount of 1.5 million. Kasi yung 1.5 million, yun lang i-allow ng tax credit, ng tax treaty, no? Kasi 15%. How much would be the payable of GBG in the Philippines, no? Whether or not GBG claimed treaty benefit, she still has to declare in her income tax return the royalties earned from YouTube and pay the remaining income tax due, net of allowable tax credit. So, pwede siya mag-claim ng deductions, no? So, halimbawa, gross income 10 million, allowable deductions 1 million, so taxable income is 9 million. How much is the tax on 9 million, no? So, for the first, you apply the bracket, no? For the first 8 million, the tax is 2,410,000. Sa excess over 8 million, no, sa tax due is 350 million. So total is 2,760,000. I-less mo ngayon yung foreign credit na nabayad na sa US na 1.5 million, then pagdating na dito sa Pilipinas, you still have a payable of 1.2 million. No? So, ito yung sinasabi ko na imagine yung total income mo is 10 million, but the tax due is 2.760,000. So, magkano lang talaga yung income mo, net of tax, dyan sa 10 million na yan? Only 7,240,000. No? Pero inisip mo, sa kayo lahat yung 10 million, hindi mo babayaran yung tax, magkakaproblema ka. No? So, ito naman yung sinasabi, to enhance tax compliance and eventually increase tax revenue, BIR offices are advised to conduct a full-blown tax investigation against social media influencers. Ayan na. Nag-utos na si Commissioner Dulay na imbestigahan na yung mga influencers na hindi naka-register, hindi nagbabayad ng tax. No? Okay, after exhausting all administrative remedies, ayaw talaga magbayad. The investigating office determines that the information needed to determine the taxpayer liability can only be obtained from a foreign jurisdiction. Bakit foreign jurisdiction? Because international na siya, digitized, no? Said official coordinate with the EOI section, Exchange of Information, of the ITAD or International Tax Affairs Division. In making an EOI request, the investigating officer shall be guided by the rules in RMO 26-2020 and the Exchange of Information Working Manual. Ano yung nakalagay dyan sa Exchange of Information Working Manual? Yun yung pagka halimbawa, examiner, meron siyang kailangan na foreign information. Ang request, i-course through niya sa commissioner, hindi siya pwedeng mag-direct. And then the commissioner will course through the request on the DFA or the Department of Foreign Affairs. No? Kaya country to country na to ang mag-uusap. Okay. So for monitoring purposes, investigating official provide EOI section feedback of the usefulness of the information. No? provided by a treaty partner. Kasi minomonitor nila yan yung exchange of information kasi commitment yan ng bawat countries. No? Okay. So, we're done with our taxation on income received by social media influencers. So, as a recap, the income of the social media influencers are subject to income tax, percentage tax, and value-added tax. No? So, yung mga YouTubers natin na hindi pa nagpa-register as taxpayer, magpa-register na kayo and don't wait for the penalties. No? Yung mga media influencers na mga bata pa, no, pamilya sila. It is the parents or your guardians who are liable for the income tax. Okay? Meron pa, Hari? Ah?
Meron pa pong question.
Oh, sige.
Ma'am, kung third party po ang administrator, need pa ba niya ng SPA from the
Yes.
heir in filing estate
Yes
tax?
po. Yes po. Kailangan po talaga ang SPA kasi hindi kayo entertain ng BAR if wala kayong special power of attorney. No? Very particular sila on the SPA because of the Data Privacy Act. So, ayaw din nila na ma-charge sila on the violations ng Data Privacy Act. Okay. Next. Okay, so wala na tayong mga tanong. Thank you very much po sa ating mga viewers, no? Thank you very much. Stay safe, no? Pahinga talaga and then do not panic and then inom ng maraming tubig, no? Inom talaga ng maraming tubig. Hindi ako nawawalan ng Vicks, no? Pagka nangatin na yung lalamunan ko, meron na kaagad and then inom ng maraming tubig na mainit, no? Tsaka marami akong herbal. Kaya, thank you very much and let's call it a night.